We're told that violence begets violence. If violence begets violence, what does pain beget? If violence begets violence, what does trouble beget? What does misfortune beget? Stop digging. Stop digging. See, we don't want our identity to be based on facts. We want our identity to be centered in truth. Now, many times we think they're the same thing, but they're not. See, facts change. Truth always remains the same. Dis-ease of any kind is a fact. Perfect health is the truth. Lack is a fact. If we're experiencing, we are experiencing it. It's a fact. But unlimited prosperity is the truth. That's what I want my identity to be. Not based on facts. Depression is a fact. If we're going through it, we're going through it. That's factual. But joy is the truth, and joy never changes. Joy is always right where we are. See, I am the truth. That's my identity. That's what Jesus told us. I am the truth. That's the way I want to be known. And I want to remember those words that I kept reinforcing every time I thought about them last week. Every time I contemplated them by the activity of our thought, things come into our life, and we are limited only because we have not known the truth. We have thought that outside things controlled us, when all the time we have had that within which would have changed everything and given us freedom from bondage. There it is again. Over and over and over, I contemplated it. Over and over and over, I held it up against what I was seeing. And then Emerson reinforced it on television last week. Someone quoted him saying, "What lies behind us and what lies before us are but tiny matters compared to what lies within us." It's here. It's been given. But we have to recognize that it's here. We have to recognize that it has been given. See, how much of what's going on in my life right now is being driven by pain? Ask yourself that question. How much of what's going on in my life right now is being driven by facts? Ask yourself that question. And remember, money is a fact. Freedom is the truth. Time is a fact. Now is the truth. So how much of my life is being driven by the effects of my life? How much of my life is being driven by outer experiences? Dr. Holmes told us, and we talk about this in class every week, so those of you who are in first year class, forgive me, I'm going to say it again. But Dr. Holmes told us, Charles Fillmore told us, Goldsmith told us, Emma Curtis Hopkins told us, there is no physical explanation for any problem that we are moving through. None. Nothing that is happening out there is the cause of anything that we're moving through. So this is what I stopped to ponder last week. This is where I stopped. And I stopped here for quite a while, just to look and see and clear what's driving my life right now. Now, on my way to today, I also shared some things. I shared the truth. I shared the truth with people who called and asked for it. I shared the truth with people who were having trouble seeing it for themselves. I shared the truth with people who knew it intellectually, but didn't know it at the heart level. I shared the truth with people who called believing that their problems were bigger than the truth. And I stood for those people who were having trouble standing for themselves. That's what every single one of your practitioners does. Every single one of them. I'll see it. I'll stand. And so many of them called back and said, thank you. Thank you for standing for me. Thank you for standing when I couldn't see what I needed to see. See, but what I reminded each one of them of when they called was that no matter what they were going through, no matter what the experience was that they were having, none of these things were of any concern to the power within. These things were as nothing to God. I don't care what you're going through. It reminds me of the scripture, Acts 20:24, where Paul said, none of these things move me. Not the depression, not the lack, not the disease. None of these things move me. Because these things are as nothing to God. So on my way to today, I started, I passed by, I stopped, I shared the truth. And the truth that I shared was we are limited only because we have not known the truth. We have thought that outside things controlled us when all the time we have had that within us which would have changed everything and given us freedom from bondage.